Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather. So let's see here. First, for today, May 13th, we do have three marginal risk spots of North Dakota, South Dakota, and to Montana, Wyoming. Also in North Carolina, Virginia, spots of northern Mississippi and Alabama, into West Virginia, and spots of Tennessee and Kentucky. So nothing crazy today, but we do have small tornado threat spots of Virginia, North Carolina, and spots of Mississippi into Alabama. So be careful in those areas. Even parts of the Mid Atlantic, there's wind threat in both the marginal risk spots of the Mid Atlantic to Mississippi, Alabama as well, and West Virginia spots of the Appalachians too. And there in Montana and North Dakota, it's mainly for hail. That marginal risk spots of South Dakota and Montana, Wyoming, mainly for hail, and also hail in some portion of the southeast. So isolated strong to severe storms possible today and tonight across parts of North Carolina into southern mid-Atlantic, central Gulf Coast states, northern plains. So be careful those areas, and nothing that crazy, but just be careful. Let's see if the HER shows anything special here. So it does show a lot of rain still in the eastern US, the mid-Atlantic, those areas, some moisture across the northwest as well, some rain and some snow in the mountains. It does show those storms later today, spots of North Carolina, so especially some small cells in Virginia, some stronger cells, in West Virginia especially shows some Mississippi and Alabama, especially Mississippi. This goes some storms in Tennessee as well. So be careful in those areas, but nothing crazy. It's just a marginal risk, but be careful anyways, because the Cape this afternoon in North Carolina is more than 2,000 joules per kilogram, even to 2,500. So be careful if any storms take advantage of that energy there. So be careful those areas. And let's see in the next few days they are coming on interesting. So here shows like this slight risk already tomorrow, spots of the Dakotas into Nebraska, and this marginal risk around it. There's this marginal risk on the east coast too. So there's like 15% wind threat in the northern plains, and 5% in the 5% on the east coast as well. Hail just 5% on the plains, so be aware some hail too, and this 2% tornado threat in South Dakota, into Minnesota, in spots of Iowa, and into Nebraska. So be careful. Scary strong to severe storms are possible mainly over parts of the Dakotas and Nebraska Wednesday afternoon and evening. More isolated severe threat anticipated across parts of southeast mid-Atlantic on Wednesday afternoon. So be careful there too. And Thursday might be a more interesting day. There's this light risk already in the Midwest and spots of the northern plains maybe, and this marginal risk goes all the way south to Arkansas. So there's here 15.5% probabilistic, and scattered strong severe storms are expected across parts of the western Great Lakes and Midwest Thursday afternoon and evening. A more isolated conditional severe weather threat will extend to mid-Mississippi River Valley during the late evening overnight hours. So this is what we currently know. So be careful in those areas Thursday still, because Friday we still might have some stuff Friday. So here shows like this 15% spots of Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, northern Mississippi. So there's still kind of a slight risk for Friday as this moves further southeast. So be careful in those areas. An active period of severe weather is anticipated for early next week as a pair of upper level troughs traverse the US and will be far timed to allow moisture recovery across central southern parts of the conus. The upper trough current over the Pacific Northwest is forecast to migrate into the Great Lakes region by this weekend. In the wake of these features, second long wave trough will begin to deepen across the west before migrating to the plains by early mid next week, with attendant chances for strong to severe storms. So this is this weekend, day 4, but next week we still might have more to watch. So they say that day 6 through 8, the deepening trough, and you can read the discussion if you want. But Friday, a stout boundary would be likely draft from the Ozarks to the Ohio Valley. The beginning of the forecast period, a weak low to mid-level perturbation emanating out of the Central Plains will promote secondary surface low development across southern plains, will maintain suddenly low-level flow. As such, northward migration to the boundary as an effective warm front appears possible. Thunderstorm development along the boundary is anticipated by late afternoon. A 40-50 knot mid-level flow oriented along frontal zones promote initial discrete, semi-discrete cells, potential for upscale growth to more organized clusters. Some disagreement in exactly where the chord of highest severe threat will become established persists and is associated with the coverage intensity of ongoing convection Friday morning. So be careful those areas Friday, and I guess we'll see what we'll have for next week. So here we still have this critical fire threat for Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas this afternoon, and the elevator. Also in Minnesota, North Dakota, the critical and the elevator. So stay safe there. There's still for day 2 a critical in Arizona, southern New Mexico, spots of Texas, and the elevator. So be careful that fire threat still. There's still the slight risk of excessive rainfall, portions of the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic Appalachians today, and this marginal risk. So be careful, some heavy rain, a marginal in the north for day 2, a marginal on the east as well. Day 3, a marginal spots of the north. Day 4, portions of the Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley. And day 5, further south, maybe into the plains, Mississippi Valley still. So be careful, some snow in the Rockies today, still tomorrow, then this goes in later, day 5, day 6 still shows some snow possible in the Rockies, those areas, so be careful. And we still have some major heat risk spots of North Dakota, Minnesota, as this strange May heat wave keeps going, and some moderate heat risk around. So Wednesday, Thursday, this decreases and barely nothing after the storm system passes by. So be careful, but Texas will still heat up a lot. And for the first time this year, I see an extreme heat risk spots of southern Texas there into northern Mexico. So more major to moderate heat risk across central Texas Wednesday afternoon tomorrow. Thursday, still major heat risk across southern Texas, moderate spots of the south. And then Friday, still some areas of extreme heat risk, southern Texas. Saturday, even to southeastern Texas, some extreme. Sunday, more extreme into Monday. So be careful, and it will get very extreme heat waves parts of northern Mexico into southern Texas. So be careful in those areas. And the hazards still shows as severe weather Thursday and Friday in the orange, and spots of and the heavy rain, those spots of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas in the green, and some high wind, and also the hazardous heat in the south. So be careful those areas. Here's the her. I hope this is up there. Yes, shows like this evening the significant tornado parameter, and the tornado chance is very small, like barely 2%, but it's worth looking. The her showing some weird things in Texas, but there'll be no storms in Texas today, so without storms to touch that, we won't have anything. But there's like very slight North Carolina or Mississippi, well, where there's the 2%. So be aware, but nothing to get so worried about. There's like the abstract Halisti for the full run, shows storms in South Dakota and Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, a few stronger cells, and spots of Mississippi and Alabama, finger two days. So stay safe. This goes does show here the Coral State University and the SIPs. I think this just got updated. So Friday, May 16th, yeah, because yesterday was just showing a red. So they have this huge uptick now for spots to the Midwest for Friday and more spots. It is weird because the SPC Friday, this Thursday, I think, because they say ending Friday, so it ends Friday, so this will happen Thursday. So shows spots of the Midwest, they have even 45% chance of severe weather, and the SPC has the 15%. So for Friday, they still have a 45% chance there, and that hatched for significant severe weather, and the 15% the SPC. And the SIPS has also 30% day 4, so this might be a little like, I don't think it's exaggerated, but this might be a little off, but there's still the chance for some significant storms Thursday into Friday, so be careful. By Saturday, Sunday, still a 15% from the Cross University. Into next week, they still have a 15%. The SIP slightly higher, day 8, 30%, but we'll see what happens. This is next Monday, uh, May 19th. The GFS has this next trough coming in spots of the plane, so it already traversed the west and it has this stronger trough coming to the plains and this old one leaving there. But this just one run. We will see if this actually happens. But for further into Tuesday, the GFS still has this strong trough spots of the plains to watch for severe weather. Later into Wednesday, it kind of gets messier, but it still shows some possibility on Wednesday. But better watch this closely. The European, let's see if it has something. It has this trough coming in, but not as strong as the GFS. So, but it does have later on by Tuesday some stronger winds aloft. So we'll keep watching for for next week and be careful those areas. So let's see here for Canada, very quick, what might happen with those storms. So does show the storms in the eastern US today, the snow in the northern Rockies, like northern US Rockies, and then shows Wednesday some storms already in Canada, in Manitoba, some possibility of some storms there. Later Wednesday into Thursday, western Quebec, it's not Quebec, western Ontario, southwestern Ontario. Does show some possibility of freezing rain northwestern Ontario. So Thursday, Friday does show southern Ontario some potential severe storms and more freezing rain in Manitoba possibly, so be careful. Some snow and ice till Friday. Saturday shows more ice in Ontario and Manitoba, and then some snow, and this goes. And just to make things interesting, the European already has some storms in the plains next Sunday, Monday, but we'll see what happens with that. But for now, be careful those storms at Thursday and Friday, especially Wednesday and Thursday in southern Canada and in the northern US. Be careful. This goes and even shows Saturday in Quebec in the northeast, a few storms. So stay safe. Here for Cape, the European does have Wednesdays, some Cape as far north as Manitoba, but just 800 joules per kilogram, not anything crazy. But Thursday does show in the Midwest to 2000 joules per kilogram, for north even 2600, in Michigan around 900 to 1300, but southern Illinois is even to 5000 on the European. So this goes shows some Cape, more Michigan, southern Michigan, especially into Ohio for Friday afternoon, especially in the 15% Tennessee, Kentucky, some higher instability still Friday afternoon. A finger or two in southern Ontario around 1000 joules per kilogram. So watch for some storms as well. And same thing goes for Canada with the wind and hail. Be careful some hail of those storms and some wind, maybe even small tornado threat Thursday into Friday. So be careful those areas. The rain will be heavier to spots of Manitoba, some areas to 91 millimeters, possibly on the European spots to 77. So be careful. Some heavy rain, more rain in Ontario from those storms too. Spots of Quebec as well. There's the GFS. The GFS even has like southernmost Manitoba, even to 100 millimeters, like 113 spots of Saskatchewan. So that's a possibility too, because the icon is like 91, 95 millimeters in southern Saskatchewan. So be careful. Those areas in the icon in the US has even to like 4 inches, close to 5 inches or something, even like to 5 inches further North Dakota. So be careful. We'll keep watching the European, also to 3 inches spots of South North Dakota, and it has even more in Arkansas, spots of Mississippi later. So stay safe. There's like some snow too. The Rocky still shows next 5 days in Montana, even 17 inches, some 10 inches, some 7 inches, 3 inches, more spots in California, 4 to 5 inches, spots in Nevada, and they're showing Utah some snow to 5 inches, 3 inches, 1 inch, in Colorado to 3 to 2 inches, even 4 inches, as finger two in Arizona. There's the GFS, practically nothing in New Mexico and Arizona, just in Wyoming and Montana, some heavier totals. In Utah, some in Colorado, spots in Nevada, in California too. Even in Oregon, Washington, it has some snow. The icon, very little in Oregon, and more spots of Wyoming, Montana, but southern Montana definitely have a lot. In Colorado, maybe a finger to southern Arizona, many in California, and those areas. So stay safe. There's like further into Canada, shows in northern Quebec, even to 32, 40 centimeters, some in Nunavut as well. Be careful. This until Sunday shows in Manitoba, a finger to southern northern Ontario, into Alberta, British Columbia, in the mountains. Be aware into northwestern territories in Yukon, and in spots northwest territories into Nunavut. There's the European. The European is much more Manitoba, central northern Manitoba, even to 32 centimeters, northern Quebec, Labrador, especially northern Quebec and western Ontario does have some along western Canada too. So be careful. The GFS is a lot across Hudson Bay, northern Quebec, and northwestern territories into Nunavut. The GFS even showing North Dakota and to Saskatchewan. I don't trust that. But it might happen. The European has a tiny bit in northern Minnesota, into Manitoba. So we'll keep watching, but be aware those areas. And here, just one more time to see what they have for the rain totals in the US. So it does show spots to 3 to 4 inches in Montana. That's mainly snow, but there'll be some heavy rain. And North Dakota there, close to 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches. So be careful. Some spots to the east, some higher totals in a few spots. So stay safe. Be aware, central US, those storms too. So be careful those areas. And very quick recap of the temperatures for Canada, and then we'll check the heat wave in Texas and Mexico. But the show here is still close to 33 degrees, southern Manitoba and spots of Ontario, so our temperatures this afternoon. Further northern Canada, some negative temperatures still, some western mountains, northeastern Canada. This goes this warmth moves southeast as the slightly colder air progresses, but also still negative temperatures northern Canada, some milder temperature spots of Alberta, Saskatchewan. Then Wednesday afternoon, this goes still warmer spots of Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec by Thursday afternoon, but shows some negative temperatures right by the bay and spots northern Quebec into Ontario, northern Ontario, but mainly in Nunavut, northwestern territories, those colder temperatures. This goes, does show Friday morning, cold as far south as central Manitoba, spots Alberta, Saskatchewan, most of northern Canada, even to like minus 16 Nunavut, spots of the west coast, colder through the mountains, and Quebec, very cold northern Quebec. This goes shows this cold air wrapping around this low pressure. Still cold Saturday morning, Ontario, Manitoba, other spots there. And then this goes by Sunday, might even reach as far south as Minnesota, the cold temperature. So shows some negative temperatures in Ontario, Manitoba, still Northwestern Territories, and there. So just expect slightly colder weather behind this storm system. And yeah, next week a similar thing, slightly milder or like colder in eastern Canada, but still in the afternoon some days slightly milder. So be careful those areas. Now just for northern Mexico, very quick, que hay esta ola de calor norte de México durante esta semana, más de 39, 40 grados en algunas zonas norte de México, como 41 grados así esta tarde. Algunos días como día 14 mañana, más de 43, 44 grados en el norte de México. Durante la noche un poco más frío en las montañas, pero muy cálido durante la tarde, casi 46 grados unas zonas norte-este de México, cerca de Texas, en Estados Unidos. Entonces, casi 46 grados, muchísimas precauciones. Y aún viernes muestra como 45, 44, 43, otras zonas más al sur, más cálido también. Pero en estas zonas así, muchísimas precauciones esta semana, estas zonas del norte de México, muy cálido y casi 45 aún el día de 18, 19 precauciones. Y a veces un poco más frío en el norte, en las montañas. Good, so stay safe there. Now here, the U.S. does show already by Tuesday afternoon today spots of southern Texas to 104, even 106 in the far south, some 90s as far north as Minnesota, and some 20s, 30s, the Sierra Nevada, slightly colder there, and some 60s, 80s in Arizona, and some 80s in the southeast, some 70s in the Midwest. So be careful, still just during the night, tonight into Wednesday, some teens in the Sierra Nevada, 20s, 30s, the mountains, the Rockies, so still colder there in the Rockies. This goes by Wednesday afternoon tomorrow, some 80s, 90s, the Midwest, in the plains, some 80s in the southeast, and just it's worth it to zoom in here to Texas, even to 111 degrees possible tomorrow afternoon in Texas. This is not certain, but it's possible, and 108, 107. So please be careful. Those areas, stay cool. That is very dangerous. And let's see. But Thursday morning still shows cold. Most of the Intermountain West, in the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, Cascades, still in the 30s, 20s Fahrenheit. But still by Thursday afternoon, close to 108, 110 spots southern Texas, 103, some 90s in the mid-south in Florida, and even the Midwest, some 80s, some 90s the southwest. And Friday morning still some active temperatures in the mountains, some 30s, 20s in the 40s, and still some 70s in the south. And then by day 4, Friday afternoon, some 90s in the south, southeast, some 80s, the Midwest and the southwest, still in Texas to 102, might be even like, if we see it closer here, to 106, even to 107 in a few spots. So stay safe in those areas, please be careful. Day 4 still shows some 20s, 30s the mountains, and right into North Dakota, slightly colder. Shows by Saturday afternoon, still in the 105, 106 range. Southern Texas and some 90s, the south, southeast. So be careful. Still shows by Sunday, some third is 20 is the mountains, and third is in North Dakota. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon still close to 100, even to 103 southern Texas, and some 90s in the south. So be careful. By Monday morning, still colder in the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, and by next Monday afternoon, still more than 100 southernmost Texas, and some 90s in the southeast. So be careful in those areas. Tuesday to Wednesday today does show some more than 50 to 60 mile per gust spots of the southwest and the Rockies, so stay safe. Those winds and snow does show already Montana and Idaho, spots of Utah into Colorado and California, Nevada. Next 2 days already shows there, even shows close to like 12 to 20 inches in Montana already. So stay safe in those areas. And there's like here for some other models, the wind gusts. The European has also some very strong spots of Arizona, and even to see 62 mile per gust, New Mexico, and into Texas, Utah, northern Mexico. Be careful too. So Tuesday, especially later this evening, some widespread very strong gusts into Utah, as far north as Wyoming, Colorado, especially New Mexico and Arizona, a few spots in California, in Texas and northern Mexico. So this goal still shows by Thursday, not Thursday, Wednesday afternoon and evening, spots of New Mexico, Colorado, into northern Mexico, Texas. So stay safe. Thursday, Friday, these transitions further north around that low pressure system. By Thursday afternoon, some very strong winds in Nebraska, South Dakota, even to 63 mile per gust in the European Colorado, Minnesota. This goes Thursday, Friday. Already shows strong gusts still in northern Iowa to Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas to southern Manitoba. So Friday, Saturday, still some strong gusts in the Midwest, even in the Southwest again, breezier conditions in northern Mexico and southern California in the Pacific, but still some leftover winds in the Midwest and near Hudson Bay from this system. And then the next trough next week, the Europeans already coming some very strong winds by next Monday. So we'll keep watching and be aware. Still in Atlantic Canada, some strong gusts today, Tuesday, a few spots in Quebec Wednesday, slightly higher gusts, but the Europeans very crazy if these gusts like the northernmost coast of Quebec, even to 112 km per gust, northern Labrador. Thursday this goes and does show those gusts around Friday afternoon, night, southern Manitoba still those storms. So stay safe. And this goes maybe more in the Gulf of Alaska later in the Pacific. But be careful and stay safe. Just here for snow. See if there's something in Alaska. Does show some southern Alaska next 5 days in the mountains and spots there. Let's see some 4 inches, some 6 inches in a few spots there, even a finger or two further north. So be careful. Still those cold temps like in the teens, 20s, northern Alaska, and then this goes even some nights to like -5 Fahrenheit. So it's still very cold there. But the Europeans less cold than the GFS, and there's still like some areas of milder temperatures in the middle. So be careful in those areas. Just the wind gusts again on the GFS shows like in the southwestern US there, those strong gusts. And Thursday, Friday does have strong winds around the low pressure, but nowhere near the strength that the European had. The European had like 62 mile per gust. The GFS is around it's around 40 or something. There's the icon, and I bet the icon is very strong too. Yeah, so stay safe in those areas.